Well, hello everyone in cyber world. Welcome to Financial Coach for You. I am Financial Coach Ray. I am the founder, the CEO of Financial Coach for You. Thanks for taking time out to join us. You are in for an absolute treat. Every single week, we introduce small businesses, home-based businesses, and special guests who have gifts and talents to share with the general public. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our very own tax expert, Miss Tammy Childs. She was born and raised here in lovely San Diego. So, Tammy, how about introducing yourself to our listening audience, Tammy?
My name is Tammy Childs. As Ray said, I was born and raised here in San Diego. I've been doing taxes for about 16 years now. I'm an EA, which basically means that I can represent taxpayers in front of tax court in any court in America. So if you have tax issues and questions, I'm the person to ask.
Wow, that is awesome. Because I know, Tammy, few people actually sit down for an interview with a tax preparer outside of their last tax refund, right, or their return.
Right. Yes.
Uh, so, do you think most people can handle their taxes on their own? What do you think?
It really depends on their situation. If it's just someone who just has, one job and no dependents, no extracurricular, no businesses, no home that they have to deal with, then yeah, that's a really simple return. That's something that someone can handle on their own. Things get a little more complicated as your life gets a little more complicated. So sometimes it's better to consult an expert. Otherwise, you run the risk of being audited or questioned by the IRS, and nobody really likes that to happen.
Right. So basically, I think the best time to be shopping for a tax preparer is right after the tax season is over, correct?
It is a better time, but there's basically two tax seasons in a year. There's the one from February to April, and then there's the one from September to October. So maybe in the in between months, that's probably the best time to look for someone who would fit your needs.
Okay. So when you sitting down with a client for the first time, is it wise for them to what can they bring to that setting?
Their prior year's tax return and questions that they might have in regards to the prior tax year. So like, let's say for 2015, I would need their 2014 tax return and any issues that they think might affect their taxes for 2015 that might have happened that they can remember.
Okay. And as a financial coach, I sit down with a lot of families, and some of the issues come from they're struggling every single month of the year to make ends meet, but they can't wait until they get their refund after they file their taxes. What advice can you give to a family that's struggling year long every single month of the year? What advice can you give them pertaining to that matter?
My first piece of advice would be to check their withholdings at their job, because more than likely they're having way too much withheld from their paychecks every month. And that's money that they could use in their own way instead of giving it as a loan to the government. So I always ask people what their goal is when they come to get their taxes done. Do you want a refund? Would you rather break even, or would you rather pay a little? And most people don't want a really big refund. They would rather break even and have the use of their money throughout the year.
Right. That makes a lot of sense because I always say you don't know what the government is doing with your money. Here it
Yeah.
is. You need it. You need that income, that extra income all throughout the year. And so why not, work with a tax expert and to find out exactly what the correct number of exemptions should be.
Yeah.
Um, Another question that I have, and I'm looking at, we have folks that actually logged in, and they have questions of their own. And someone says, "I won some money at the casino. Um, will I be able to? Do I need to report that as income?"
The short answer is yes. It depends on the amount of money that they won. If they won more than $600, that casino will report it to the IRS, and that definitely needs to be on your tax return. But you also can take into account the money that you spent at the casino. So it's not necessarily going to be all taxable income, because if you spent more than you won, then you can offset your winnings only up to the amount that you won.
That's interesting. That's good to know because people always think, oh, it's always about the winnings. But if you lost some money, that you can always offset that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And what about if people owe, like you loan money out and someone, they just don't want to pay you back? Is there a way that you can actually write that off?
Well, it depends. First, it depends on the amount, and then it depends on what you did to try to get that money back. Like if took them, you took them to court, or you hired an attorney to let them know that you owe this money and you owe this interest. If you went through a process to try and get the money back, then you might be able to write it off as a loss, but it just really depends on your personal circumstances for your tax return.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, what advice can you give to someone that's single, have no kids, have no home, no business, and they want write-offs? What advice can you give to them moving forward?
There could be some write-offs for them. If they're just working at a job that doesn't have maybe a 401k plan or a retirement plan, you can set aside some money on your own, like through your own bank, and be able to offset some of your income that way. If that person is going to school, their education expenses might be a write-off for them. I think that's pretty much it for someone who doesn't have any other, no kids and no home to write off.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I'm always looking for people to join, financial coach for you, and that's one of the
Yeah,
things that I tell them. I said, if you have no kids, you do not own a house. What you need to get is a business, a
yeah,
legitimate business that they can write off. So with that said, Tammy, if someone owns a business, let's say they decide to work with financial coach for you on getting their licenses and stuff,
yeah.
what type of write-offs can that individual have?
Well, there's a a lot of write-offs that they can have, and it really it depends on their circumstances, but um, if they're using their car to go around town to meet with clients, their mileage and their gas, their maintenance on that car can be a write-off. If they have to purchase office equipment or office supplies for that business, that can be a write-off. If they open up a separate bank account for the business, any fees associated with that bank account would be a write-off. Their cell phone bill in part could be a write-off. You don't want to take the whole thing, but unless you have a dedicated line for your business, that can also be a write-off. There's a lot. If they use a portion of their home as an office, then that could be a write-off. It, like I said, it pretty much depends on their specific situation, but for the most part, there's a lot of write-offs that you can have just owning a business.
And that's great that it came from you because it
Yeah.
seems like when I told people about it, they're like, oh, I don't know. But you hearing it from the tax expert, it pays for you to have a business. I mean,
Oh yeah.
this is the major loophole. Even with the rich people out there, they have businesses, and then they have meetings in Maui and all these exquisite places, and write off the whole trip. So why don't you take advantage of that as well? So Tammy, are you able to help folks outside of San Diego?
Yes, I can do tax returns for any state in the United States.
Wow, that is amazing. You hear that, folks? She's available to help anyone, anywhere. And so, with that said, Tammy, I know you're very busy,
Hmm.
especially prepping for the tax season.
Yes.
And so, I really, truly appreciate you coming on. And I know everyone, it's hard to trust people, especially online, people that you haven't met personally. But I can assure you that any guest of Financial Coach for You, any guest that we introduce you to, has your best interest in mind. We only
Right.
bring on the experts, and we are ready and available to help you and assist you no matter where you are located. We are virtual. So we not only put your financial games in place, we also want to make sure that we provide the resources that you need. So, Tammy, thank you so much for being our guest. I think you have a wonderful, wonderful tax service. And I know when I meet with my clients, I'm always calling and introducing you to our clients. And so, how can someone get in touch with you?
The best way to reach me is by cell phone. My cell phone number is area code 619-370-6878. Another way to reach me is by email. My email address is Tami, Tami, at your, yourtaxresource. So it's Tami at yourtaxresource.com.
Awesome. So, everyone, I'm just going to repeat her information because I know you're jotting down. You had to grab a pencil real quick. But if you need to get in touch with Tammy, you definitely can reach her at 619-370-6878. And her email address is Tammy at your tax resource. That's ROSOURCE.com. We also have this recording. If you need to get a copy of this, absolutely get a hold of Financial Coach for You. My name is Coach Ray. My number is 619-357-6558. And our website is www.financialcoach, the number 4, the letter U.net. So, Tammy, any closing comments?
Um, just if you're meeting with a tax professional, come prepared with questions, but also prepared as far as not being a shoebox client, meaning there are receipts everywhere. Try to be a little bit organized. That saves everybody time and money.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, and all the best to you, and happy tax time.
Thank you, Ray.
You take care and be blessed.
Okay.